What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So we're going to talk about Gitcoin today. This that's right over my shoulder. The reason why we're going to talk about this is because it does have a lot of potential. And I like to talk about things that have potential rather than just focusing on the news, even though we will get into some information about it, some projections, and just what I think overall about the coin. But I like to get into potential because potential is a big thing when it comes to crypto, more than it is in the stock market, because the stock market can be inflated, not just looking at, the supply that's out there or, the shares in the stock market, because it could be inflated based on the amount of institutional holders, not only by the amount of people that are holding the position. Whatever they feel like doing when it comes to shorting it, they can do that. Obviously, they have found ways to short cryptocurrency, but it's not as common as the stock market. So, we're going to get into this. Before we get started, guys, hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button for more videos like this one, and make sure that you check out some of the links in the description and check out some of my other channels, because I do upload other content related to finance, also golf and some other things. I just love creating content. So definitely check all that stuff out. You'll find that in the channel sections of my page. So anyways, let's get into what this actually is. So what we're seeing here is the price. Right. We're going to get into, let's actually step back a bit. We're going to go into what this is, and, just a little brief introduction of what it actually is. And the reason why I wanted to call this out was for one specific point. So Gitcoin describes itself as a community of builders, creators, and protocols that have come together in order to develop the future of the open internet. Gitcoin creates a community that supports new infrastructure for Web3, including tools, technologies, and networks to foster development in the open source sphere. Gitcoin, GTC, governance coin, launched in May of 2021. The token is needed for the creation and funding of DIO. I hope I'm saying that right. DAO. Maybe I'm not saying it right. That will govern Gitcoin. So, anyways, the reason why I wanted to go through that was really, you're not really getting a full description on what it actually is. But the thing that I wanted to focus on is May of 2021. A lot of times you look at different coins and you say, all right, well, how long has it been around? This has not been around long, but it's already up there and, basically being at a level to where it can be put on Coinbase and be considered one of those not stable coins, but you know, um, reliable coins. That's the way that I would put it. Some other coins that are on other exchanges that are not on Coinbase yet, they're not as reliable. They're not something that you can go there and say, well, is this really scammy? Well, the chances of it being scammy are kind of, slimmed down once it does go on Coinbase. So I believe that wholeheartedly. I really do, because you don't see as many scams, if any, on Coinbase versus a lot of other ones that are on, Gate.io maybe, or even KuCoin, or get on some of the smaller platforms. Even though those are kind of bigger, they get on the smaller platforms. But that's what I wanted to call out here. Let's take some time to look at some of the information that does make me think that this is a really good investment. Then we'll get into some potential and also look at some predictions that did come up previously by others, not just me, right? So currently the price is at $7.56. I invested in the beginning at $6 and invested more in at $7. So I want to let you guys know that I do have a position in here. I hold about 300, and I plan on holding a total of maybe 1,000 to 2,000 by the time this is all said and done, depending on what the price actually does. So currently you look at the market cap and it's at 107 million. That's million with an M, compared to some of the ones that are in the billions or even the trillions. Compare that to Bitcoin, that's at 1 trillion. Compare that to Ethereum, that's around that 300, $400 billion mark. Understand that this is a fraction of where they actually are. So you also want to factor in the circulating supply. This is something that I talk about all the time. Circulating supply equals growth potential. So if you see that the circulating supply is in the millions, 14.2 million, you compare that to some of the bigger coins of Bitcoin at 21, well, technically right now 19, and Ethereum at 115 million, somewhere around that. So if you do see that, and you compare the prices, you know that the potential is a lot higher just looking at that. Now you need to factor in the popularity. Is it something that's on all of the exchanges? Well, yes, it is available on pretty much everywhere that you want to buy crypto. So that's a big plus, right? In Gitcoin's book, in GTC's book. Now you want to also look at the total supply because this does obviously factor in when you do have an introduction of more supply into the market. So 100 million is obviously showing that it can be diluted a little bit, or a lot were introduced and some were burned off. You don't really know the full crux of what that is, but how right now what you're looking at is an investment with only 14.2 million circulating supply. Even if it does get up to 100 million circulating supply, that still is a low amount compared to a lot of other coins that are out there. So that's something that I like to factor in whenever I do any type of analysis or any type of information, building here. But you can see this is the information that we wanted to look at when it comes to the chart. The chart here shows that it did get up to a high point of around that $16 mark, and then did decrease down to about $5 or so. I think of a low around $5, which it didn't go any lower than that. And then you see it go up to about that $15 mark, $14.5 mark, right? And then you started to see that decrease again, get down to certain levels to where it is starting to resist. Where you can see here that based on the small amount of information we do have, you can see the fluctuation in this position. You could see that it got down to $5, increased up to 10 plus. Went down to $6, $5 again. And now is it on the way up? Is it going to go up to $10, $15? Now, this is where we start asking our questions. Where is this going to move? Is it going to grow a massive amount? Is it something that can be popular? Well, first, let's look at the popularity on Coinbase before we get into the prediction. Popularity is 96. That's not that popular, right? That's not something that people are like, oh, you know what? This is absolutely amazing. In the past, it was definitely lower, or technically higher on the list. It was around 70-ish on the list when the price did go up to around 14. And I was happy with that because I did have my 119 coins that were growing up to that rate from $6 and basically doubled. And I was gaining a decent amount there. And now it's at 96. That's not amazing, but it does have longevity. It does have that length of time with this coin. It's not something that was introduced years ago. It's something that was introduced months ago. And you have so much time in order for this to grow. Understand where Bitcoin was in the past, where it was at, 20,000, went down to like 3 or 2, then went up to a level where it got up to 60K. Now, I'm not saying this is a coin that's going to get up to that level. However, it could. With the amount of coins that are actually out there in circulation, it is a low price right now at $7, an absolute low price, and it's an absolute steal. Based on a lot of other coins that are out there with basically this the same amount of circulating supply, right? So it's crazy to look at. Now, let's look at some price predictions here. Now, the price prediction I wanted to break this down to see what other people thought. And basically, they have a short-term and long-term prediction. Basically, for 2021, if you had a short-term prediction that it's going to end up decreasing, the trend line is down to about $6 to where it will hold somewhere those levels. And that's exactly what we are seeing. You can see that trend line from September. Couldn't think of what 9 was. September to October, and you could see that it got down to $6. You can see that trend of the history. Now, the future prediction is where this is going to make its move. 2021, 2022 is where you're going to see that constant trend line up. You can see the movement up to from this level back in July. Again, I have so much trouble with numbers for I don't know why. But you could see this did increase to a level of 14.5, right? And then started to it's going to start to increase. So seeing that future potential, that's exactly what they are looking at there. And basically what this is doing is it's saying right now we are in a bear market. For the last 30 days, we're in a bear market. And just getting a glimpse of information from what they do believe will happen. Will Gitcoin hit $10 in a year? Yes, within a year it will hit $10. Will it hit $20 within a year? No, not within a year. I disagree with that. Just based on the history, I understand there's not as much history to get any type or to compile as much information to see this grow. So it's definitely a different story when you're looking at all this stuff. You have to look at the potential and not only the history of what actually happened. Because once the altcoin market starts to blow, once you see it start to be altcoin season, this will end up making a move, and I kind of guarantee that that's going to happen. And again, this is not financial advice. I don't give out financial advice. It's just something that I wholeheartedly believe in, and I'm going to put my money into. Right now, it's one of my most heavily invested cryptos that I do own. I own about $2,000, 2,400 or so dollars into this position, which is not crazy, but I do plan on putting more and more into it because I want to hold about 1,000 as we go along. Right now, I'm holding 300, just to be transparent. But let's go into my Excel file, since I really don't want to talk your ear off because right now it's already been 10 minutes or 11 minutes or so. I wanted to get into my Excel spreadsheet. Now, I built an Excel spreadsheet to go through the potential of a coin and what this could be as you do see this grow throughout the years. So right now, where it's at 14.2 million supply, right? That gives it about a $100 million market cap, as we did see here, right? It's a little bit over that. It's at 7.5, right? But let's just do round numbers for, easy use, right? So you say that you're going to invest in 1,000. You want to hold 1,000. That's going to be about $7,000 that you do own of that position. Okay, so that's 1,000 that you bought. Now you're going to see this grow. The potential based on market cap, if you see this get to $50, right? $50 in the near future, this will be at less than $1 billion market cap. Now, that may sound like a lot, $710 million market cap, but it's not compared to something like, let's say, go up here to BTC. BTC at $100,000 will be a $1.9 million market cap. At $50,000, it's not million, $1 trillion market cap. When it's at $50,000, you're going to see a $1 trillion market cap. So that's trillion with a T, skipping billions. While you're sitting over here, everything else that we're looking at on this chart is in the billions, whether it's 1 billion, 2 billion. The average for a top crypto coin is around that $3 to $10 billion mark. So seeing this at basically less than $1 billion worth of a market cap shows that it has a lot more potential. So somewhere around that average of $3 to $10 billion mark, you can expect a $300 mark, or you can even expect something bigger than that. Something of maybe even, let's you can go back and type in 500. That gives you less than that $10 billion mark, and now you're at $500 worth of value, which does bring your 1,000 coins to a $500,000 amount or balance, right? So that's where you're starting to look at that and go, okay, what's the full potential of this? It gets to $100, it gets to $500, it gets to $300, or what? It gets to $3,000. What can this be? And it could be something really, really big for you and your overall crypto portfolio. So in my opinion, this is definitely a buy at this point. Now, I'm not going to say that you should go out and get it, that you need to go out and get this, because you can make any decision that you want. You can look at more trends. You can look at more information, more of the detail behind, the usability, the use case behind it. But truly, I do believe in this position, and I'm going to continue to double, triple, quadruple down to where this is probably one of the most held positions that I own. Right now, the most held position that I own is Farmcoin, and the second most held is technically Algo. The third most held is this. So let me know what you think about Gitcoin, if you do believe in this position as well, if you see any type of potential in this, if I opened your eyes to this coin at all, let me know. But make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely check out some of my content, across YouTube, whether it's, golf related, MP shorts, my reaction channel, all of that stuff. I want to create more and more content for you guys. And the closer I get to that, the closer I get to quitting my 9 to 5 and having more time for you guys. So if you support me, support all my other channels as well. But I'm going to get out of here, and I will catch you guys in the next video.